What is going on, guys? It's Nick here, back with another video. Today, we are going to be going over the top 5 breakout wide receivers for the 2018 fantasy football season. Before we start the video, quick reminder of our giveaway. 8x10 Martavis Bryant photo comes with a certificate of authenticity. Just 2 criteria to apply. First, you have to be subscribed to the channel. A quick note on that. Some people have not been seeing the videos when they come in each day when they're posted. If that's you, or if you want to make sure you're seeing the videos, right next to the subscribe button, there is a bell. Click the bell. That means that the video will show up on your homepage under the subscriptions tab. Next criteria. You just have to follow both me and Dare on Twitter. Both of our handles are on the screen right now and in the description. So click that, give us a follow. We'll be posting the winner on first week of July, and we're going to DM the winner. Let's start off the video by talking about the Pro Football Focus stat of the day. Since this one's about wide receivers, figured it's only fitting to have a stat on wide receivers. So, who had the most interceptions when being targeted? So this is a wide receiver. I couldn't think of a fantastic way to word that. Basically, defenses had the most interceptions on throws targeting this player. It was 9 interceptions on the year targeting this wide receiver. Remember, we're doing this every day. Gonna get the total at the end of the year, and you're gonna get something. Whoever gets the most. It is a 5-way tie. I believe it's 5. 5-way tie now for first place because, again, another individual won it today. It's either Tony Man or Tone Man. I don't know if it's your name or you're in fact a Tone Man. Haven't decided that yet, but if you want to let us know in case you win again, that would be great. Regardless, you won it yesterday. Yesterday's was which quarterback was top 5 in quarterback rating, adjusted completion percentage, deep passing, and under pressure throws. He was first in 2 of 4 of those, and 25th in time in the pocket. That man's name was Drew Brees. Drew Brees was in fact good last year, even though some people like to say he wasn't. So, we're going to hop into this video. Remember the stat of the day. First person to get it right in the comment section below will get on the board. Maybe we can finally get someone to get 2 points on the board. Maybe not go for a different person every day, but we'll see. Try and be quick. First person we're going to talk about, and this is in no specific order. I've listed their ADPs on the left. That first one there, it's Tyler Lockett, wide receiver 60. And then our rank will be on the right. That'll be for all of these guys. So Tyler Lockett, wide receiver 60 in ADP on Fantasy Football Calculator. Again, all these ADPs will change throughout the summer, but as of right now, that's what they are. And currently, he's our wide receiver 45. All this will be for PPR and 12-team leagues for any sort of analysis. Only people he's basically competing with for targets are Doug Baldwin and Brandon Marshall. Now, we know Doug Baldwin's going to get his. We know that. That's just going to happen. Doug Baldwin's good. Wilson likes him. It's a good connection. But he's not going to get all of it. And Jimmy Graham is now gone. And Paul Richardson's now gone. And there's really no one else. And to be completely honest, I don't even count Brandon Marshall. Marshall's 34, and he has been terrible in back-to-back seasons. Lockett is good. I will not say that he is a great wide receiver. I will not say that he's a target hog, but he's a great deep threat, and he's great at getting open. And what is Wilson really good at? Chuck the ball deep and finding people who are open. Wide receivers excel with Russell Wilson because Russell Wilson gets out of the pocket. He makes plays with his legs. And defenders, you just can't defend. I don't care how good of a defender you are. It is extremely difficult to defend wide receivers down the field when a quarterback's scrambling. It's just hard. And Tyler Lockett has a 93rd percentile speed score, 89th percentile college dominator. He's done it before. He's still only 25 years old. And this team's going to be bad. This team's going to be real bad. So they're going to have to throw the ball. I like Tyler Lockett as a pick. He's probably the least upside pick of the wide receivers on this list. Maybe more fitted for a breakout video, but I wasn't sure, or for a sleepers video, I guess. Late round targets video. But I wanted to put him on this list because I wasn't sure he was going to make the other ones, and he's someone I really like targeting, and he could have a great year. If Variant is on his side, kind of like a Will Fuller season, Variant is on his side with a couple of deep touchdowns, he could have a fantastic season. Next, Corey Davis. Now, I don't remember if he made the list last year for potential break. I wasn't for potential breakouts, maybe for flyers late. And he obviously, if you played last year, he dudded. But we need to remember what that team was last year. I know they made the playoffs. I know they won a playoff game somehow. But they weren't good. If you watched a single Titans game, you knew they were not a good offense. I believe they were ranked 20th in points per game, roughly. They were in the 20s. They weren't good. But they finally got a new offensive coordinator in Matt LaFleur. And if you guys don't know, that's the Rams offensive coordinator last year. Finally led the league in scoring and led them to the first playoff berths since 2004. The Rams were a great offense. You watched the Rams last year, you're like, yeah, I want that offensive coordinator. And you watch the Titans and you're like, I would never want that man running my offense. This exotic smash mouth offense. It was awful. It was such a terrible offense last year. All of their play calling was just garbage. So Corey Davis is great. He just wasn't used properly, and he was hurt. I mean, he injured his hamstring in training camp. Into August, he hurt his hamstring, and it's really, really tough when you're a rookie, especially, and you get hurt in camp, because you need that time to develop a rapport with the quarterback, and you need that time to learn an NFL offense, and he missed that time. And just in general, wide receivers and even running backs coming off of an injury, especially a hamstring injury in camp, that's really something you pay attention to. And a lot of the times, if someone has a hamstring injury going into the season, it affects them throughout the whole season. You don't really truly get over, I don't know how many of you have injured your hamstring or your groin, you don't really get over that right away. And we all know these guys are, even when they're coming into the week probable, they're all banged up. So they're playing through injuries. I believe he was playing through that hamstring injury for the entire season. He didn't return until I believe it was week 8, but he was never 100%. He's really, really good though. 23 years old, 5th overall pick last season, 95th percentile breakout age, 96th percentile college dominator, 74th percentile height adjusted speed score. Remember, that's a better metric than just straight up speed score or straight up 40 time. But he was hurt, and he just wasn't able to produce. We saw what he could do, what he was capable of in that playoff game against the Patriots, but we haven't seen him fully healthy. We haven't seen him with a good offense. I believe that Marcus Mariota is a good offense that will take strides forward. Marcus Mariota is a good offense. He's a good quarterback, and I believe that's a good offense that can take strides forward in the passing game this season. So I really like Corey Davis to have a breakout season. Next receiver we are talking about is Devin Funchess, going as wide receiver 31. Our ranks, wide receiver 25 as of right now. He is younger than people think. He's just 24 years old, but I don't know if people think he's old. People don't think he's old, but I think people think he's more in his 26, 27 range. No, he's just 24 years old. He had a 22.7% team target share last season, 5th in target premium. So when you hear these premium stats, that's like using a baseline. So on a given play, how much better they were compared to how good they should have been. So target premium looks at the additional fantasy points per target that a wide receiver generates above or below. So if it's negative, it's below the other pass receivers on their team. So if the baseline is Cam Newton's throwing you the ball, your premium as a positive is you turn that into more than other people did. He was 5th in the league in that. 83rd percentile breakout age, 87th percentile height adjusted speed score. And I personally, you might disagree, but I personally don't believe that DJ Moore is of a great concern. They just needed another wide receiver. That's all. It's not like they brought in some guy that's going to take 1 million targets. They just needed another wide receiver. I think that the rapport that he built last season with Newton is critical. They have Olsen coming back, but I do believe that Funchess is a good wide receiver. He's gotten a bad rap for kind of busting in his first 2 seasons, but he was 22 and 23. I really think that Funchess is going to have a great season. 11th in percentage of team air yards. Remember, air yards are predictive year over year. I think Funchess is a very good pick, and just a guy that I could see ascending into that high-end wide receiver 2 category, whereas he's being drafted as a mid wide receiver 3. So I think he has a lot of upside and a good chance to break out this season. 4th guy on the list we're going to talk about is JuJu SmithSchuster. And I want to address 2 things because I believe that maybe some people don't think he's considered a breakout because he already broke out. Not the case. Also, there are concerns that I know people have, and I want to address those because they are somewhat legitimate. One, no, he didn't break out last season. And I guess that's partially with the concerns. It was 2 games. 2 games are skewing his season-long stats. So if you look at his season-long stats, you're like, wow, this dude was actually very, very good. And he was very, very good. But it's week 8 and it's week 16. Week 8, if you remember, I don't remember if it was Sunday night or Monday night. I believe it was Monday Night Football. 7 receptions, 193 yards, and a touchdown. He had that 97-yard touchdown reception where the defenders were diving at him at midfield and he just jogged in when they fell down. That's not exactly something that's going to happen every year. So 193 and a touchdown in 1 game. Week 16, remember that was when Antonio Brown was hurt. 9 receptions for 143 and a touchdown. Again, that's not as predictable because I believe they're playing the Browns, first of all. And second of all, it was with no Antonio Brown. So what do you think is going to happen? Other than those 2 games, there was only 2 games where he had more than 5 receptions. So he didn't break out last season. And you can look at this and say, well, if he's playing a full season with Bell and AB and they want to integrate Vance more into the offense, where's his upside? And I agree with you. The upside is potentially capped. But he was phenomenal last season. We already know he's good, 93rd percentile breakout age. We've seen him play. We know he's good. We know he's athletic. Steelers run the 10th most play last season, and that's pretty much what we can expect going forward. First in yards per target, first in production premium, second in target premium, first in catch rate on deep targets, first in drop rates from the slot. No, it's not team small sample size. This dude is legit. He's putting up really good numbers, and it's in an offense that we know is going to be high caliber. We know is going to score touchdowns. The issue is that they have other players that could score touchdowns. So could we see a season where he has 1,100 yards and 3 touchdowns? Absolutely. But if, like with Lockett, if variance is on this guy's side, and if a Bell or AB does get injured, this dude has an insane ceiling. So I see concerns with him, and that's why we have him at wide receiver 23, and consensus has him at 20. It's why I really haven't drafted him too many times in these mock drafts. But if things break his way, you could absolutely see him finish as a wide receiver 1. That's how good he is. Last receiver we're going to talk about is Stefon Diggs. My boy Diggs, you guys know I love Stefon Diggs. He's tried to break out. He really has, but he just hasn't crossed over that barrier yet. He's never been over 905 receiving yards. Last season was most touchdowns. It was just 8. He's just had trouble staying healthy. He just has. And that's been why he hasn't broken into the super elite category. He has been great, and he deserves this ranking. He's going as wide receiver 14. We have him as 11. But I believe he will break out from really good into super elite this next season. I believe he has the potential to finish as a top 5 wide receiver. I believe that's why he's on this list. It's not that he's going to break out into a low-end one. I believe that he will break out this season into someone who can win you your championship alone. Now, obviously, we're not taking him in the first round, but if you hit on your first-round pick and then you draft Diggs, this guy can win you your championship. 96th percentile breakout age. Keenum was his quarterback last season, and I'm not dissing Keenum, but he's not Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is a very, very good quarterback. That is going to be a very, very good offense, and he's used in the red zone. Second among wide receivers in red zone catch rate, minimum of 10 targets. 4th highest quarterback rating when being targeted. 12th in yards per route run. 4th in catch rate on deep passes. He was 12 catches on 12 possible catchable balls deep for 324 yards and 4 touchdowns. You got to think Cousins is going to hit him deep. 7th highest wide receiver rating. If Stefon Diggs can get over these groin injuries and these injuries that are keeping him out of 3 and 4 games in a season, if he plays all 16 games and he is the Stefon Diggs that we saw in the playoffs, that we've seen when he is fully healthy. He is going to take that next step and truly break out. We've seen it over many stretches. We've seen it over months. We've seen it game to game. We've seen him have great games individually, but he has yet to put it together into a dominant season. I think that's this year. I thought it was this year last year. I'll admit I really like Diggs, and maybe I'm biased towards him. But I truly, truly believe that Diggs is a phenomenal wide receiver and that he's going to take that next step this season. That is the list. It is difficult to make a breakout list because we are making a sleeper list as well. Be on the lookout for every single Friday. We're going to be releasing top 5 videos. I don't know what next Friday is. I believe it's on running backs, but I will not be quoted on that. Every single week. Mock Draft Mondays, top 5 Fridays. You can count on that every single week with different videos filled out in between. But that is the end of this video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, how about we hit that like button? Subscribe if you are new. Thanks for watching.